Hi, I was actually also going to ask about where the idea for Hearts of Steel came from, so I'm a bit at a loss now. Mr. Roche, question. If you had the opportunity to write another Wreckers book, what character do you think would you like to see join the Wreckers or be an antagonist?
Who's left, really? I've said that, and it doesn't mean anything, that the only way, after Last Stand of the Wreckers, it's like Overlord, I used to say that, like, if we're going to do a sequel, it's not the fan expectation that's troubling me, it's how do I top Overlord. You know, like James and I are kind of really, we think we hit kind of pay dirt with him, and pay dirt. It's fun, isn't it? So how do we top him? And so we choose a different direction and choose a different angle for the villain. That's how we came up with Tarantulas. And I'm quite happy with how Tarantulas came out, and like his different set of motivations, different sort of way of kind of presenting himself. And it's just like okay, we've done Overlord, we've done Tarantulas. What if we're going to do a Wreckers 3? You're going to need to match the two of them. Oh, why don't they join up together then? So that's from like again my fan fiction sort of like brain, which becomes canon on the every 6 years when I'm allowed to write something. I would like to try and find a way maybe to do that maybe, but I don't know if that really works. Otherwise, a lot of the kind of the cool Decepticons or villains have like been licked by other writers at this stage. Do you know what I mean? They have their stink all up on them. So it's I don't know who's left. As far as like joining the Wreckers, there was in the Sins of the Wreckers back matter that kind of was with the collected edition, there was like 4 like redacted names of characters who were in like very, very early draft when I think initially like I was like writing like 22-page issues. Even if I had those extra 10 pages across that series, there would be no way to have fit these 4 kind of extra characters in. But I kind of don't feel like, I don't know. I'm trying to think who would have been good. I think the obvious one is just, I think I'd like to find. I would have liked to have found a way to get Bulkhead in there as a wrecker. I think he'd be like a good fit for like the IDW's Wreckers.
If I could jump in, because I've been asked this 100 times. Nick, could we see Punch Counterpunch show up in the comic, please? I get asked that a lot.
But you remember me telling you my idea for that, don't you?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Well, I wasn't actually talking about that idea.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So.
I was trying to spoil the idea. That was actually.
And you succeeded.
Oh, thanks. Sorry.
I would like to do more Wreckers. I'll put whoever they want me to put in, to be honest, if they let me do it. But at this stage, it feels like the Wrecker story is kind of becoming a little bit smaller, unless. Apart from the fact that there's only like Springer and Impactor left alive, really, that are like nominally Wreckers. That the story has kind of become more like, well, what it's about those characters rather than what does like a badass expendable Autobot A-team, what would they face? There'd be so much kind of like heavy lifting to be done on the current Transformers universe to kind of get that sort of unit back together and have that sort of infrastructure to sort of say, you guys are going on this mission. Not impossible, but I'm fairly far down the pecking list, and rightfully so, of writers, who are getting to play with these characters at the moment. But yeah, would like to do more Wreckers. Would like to do non-Wrecker stuff as well, I have to say. Like, it's kind of, but like as I said, like it's kind of, I'm just trying to say this in a kind way, because like there was a time in Transformers history where the writing wasn't meeting universal approval, and people were sort of saying, no, I'm not a fan of this writer. But at the moment, you've got like 3 writers who are annoyingly kind of, if you don't like one, then the other 2 are probably doing what you like doing, And so I'm kind of, it's not that, I'm at that stage where I'm like looking at it, where there's been maybe other times where I'm like, I know I could maybe do as good a job as this writer. I'm sort of like, what have I got really that these writers can't? I can draw and I'm slow at drawing, so I'm not really a top pick. So yeah, I can see why Wreckers is kind of like my one thing that I have. So yeah. Thank you, I guess. And
a question for Mr. Barber, and then a short other question. There are, I think, 5 different sort of colony planets now in the IDW universe. Are we going to be seeing any more in the future, or are we kind of just working with what we have?
We'll see them all really soon.
Oh, okay. And will we see Centurion again? Because I think he deserves to be happy.
Yeah, definitely. His story continues to play out in Revolutionaries. But we will see him again real soon during the first strike event. He's going to be an ongoing concern for
Nice.
for the future.
Right. Thank you. Thank you both.
Hey, buddy, a lot of Transformers deserve to be happy. Tell Centurion to get in line, you know?
Yeah, well, I like him. I like steampunk.